Hey guys, Hello Bella here, and in this video we're going to be talking about how I used AI to create 20 t-shirt designs that I used basically very little effort and skill with, just using Canva and ChatGPT. And I take these AI generated designs and I sell them on platforms like Amazon Merch and Etsy. I just recently started an Etsy shop, so this is my shop here. I've got all these products that are being fulfilled with Printful. So I'm going to talk to you about how I came up with some of these designs and show you how to work both Canva and ChatGPT's AI and give you some thoughts on the process that I use. So this particular element right here, this raccoon, was created by Canva's AI. Okay, so let's say you're doing the gardening niche and you need to do a goose. So let's do cute goose gardening, holding watering can, wearing straw hat, cartoon style, transparent background. So I don't really need the text, I just need the image. So let me go ahead and see what that generates. And it's going to give you some different images. So it says thinking down here. They've actually improved this a lot since I started using it. It was pretty rudimentary. So you can see here is some of the images that I got. So I'm just going to add another page and show you guys those images. So I got this guy. I got this guy. What a cutie. It's still not as kind of goofy as I would like it to be. This one's a little bit more goofy, but his hand's messed up. And then this one's got the action shot here. Let's see here. So I might want to add in retro style minimalist design. Okay, so let's try that again and regenerate. The cool thing about Canva's AI is it's very fast. Part of the way that ChatGPT comes into play for me is that I use this to come up with phrases, research niches, and things like that. So we've got this one, pretty cute. To me, this one looks more what I would consider like trending, but see how the water coming out is like brown? It looks like compost water. We don't want that. So let's go over here and let's click this image, but click regenerate all images. Okay, so here we've got some more images coming through. So let's see what we came up with here. That kind of actually works with the background. I would remove the background from it. So let's click background remover. Okay, and I'll get rid of the rest of those. This is basically my process of coming up with t-shirt designs. So now I'm going to do that. And then depending on if I wanted to do a black t-shirt, I would put the black here. And then I would fill in kind of looking for where I would put the text and stuff. We'll just put like garden girly. And then I'll make the text white. And then I'll probably kind of make it like on the bottom here. Yeah, there we go. That's a really rudimentary design, but you kind of get the point that it's more about the image than it's also about the niche. So I guess that being the most important thing is like, is this a saturated niche? Is this something that anyone's even typing into Amazon? Maybe we should click over and see. Are they typing this into Etsy? Let's go over here and look up garden girly shirt. Okay, so we've got garden social club, garden girl. I'll be in my office with the goose is really popular right now. Let's root for each other. A lot of goose stuff right now, doing gardening stuff, and it's got some goose pictures there. So one thing that you could do with ChatGPT that you can't do as well with Canva is you can pull this image and then ask ChatGPT to basically come up with something similar. So let's go over. So this is like a pretty simple design that I've made here with Canva. When I got ready to save that with Canva, I would just share and then download it and then PNG file. And then I would click current page only because I don't want to download all of those pages. And then I would click transparent background because you don't want that black in there. But I use the black while I'm designing to see what the t-shirt would actually look like. So that would be the steps that you would need to actually make the shirt. And then you would hop over to wherever you're fulfilling it. Like if you're fulfilling with Printful, you'd hop over to there and then you would add it onto the shirt that you want to add it onto. So I actually made this image with ChatGPT, and then I brought the image into Canva and then did the text and everything over here. ChatGPT messes up text pretty often, so I think you have to have some design skills. You don't have to be like a great designer, but having some design skills really helps. This little mouse is an image that I generated with Canva's AI. I just wanted to make a mouse that was holding a coffee wrapped in a blanket. So let's try the gardening or the goose thing again. Cute cartoon style goose. Maybe like carving a pumpkin. Thick black outlines, transparent background, goose wearing witch hat. I don't know. Sometimes I just play with it. So let me go ahead and generate images based on that, and it's going to try. It also gives you some stuff down here. And sometimes, quite frankly, all of these will give me ideas like, oh, there's a dog wearing a witch hat. There's different kind of styles. This would be an example of one that I would think, yes, that's definitely something that I can work with. Some of these, that one looks kind of like Daffy Duck almost. But you kind of like start to get a feel for how your prompting works. If I could tell you anything about t-shirt designing, prompting is something that you probably need to learn. Just being in 2025, I'm 31, so this stuff is like, it's coming faster than I can actually keep up with, but it seems like something that's not going to go away. So I'm just kind of learning to prompt better. See, that one almost kind of winds up looking like a sticker, which would be fine. You can make stickers with Printful, and then sell them on Etsy, but you might also want to add some text to it. But just as an image, that's actually okay. You're really considering like, okay, I used to have to buy images like her image and pay like $2 or $3 for a good image, and then other people would buy it and they would steal it. So I don't know the ethical implications of AI. It's probably not great, but at this point, it is something that I work into my business model. So I clicked good result on that one because that one was actually quite good. But you get the idea that your prompts are what is kind of important here. And then I'm going to show you, to go into ChatGPT, how you might also kind of figure this stuff out. For some new t-shirt designs. So this t-shirt I found on Etsy. I said, using my reference design, upcycle this shirt design with white text in a groovy font. Keep the vibe. Transparent white background in dimensions 4500 by 5400 pixels. That's just the t-shirt design for Amazon merch, but also it's basically a rectangle. So it's a pretty good, amount of pixels. Keep the text just a fall goose. Change the geese up a bit to look a bit different. Maybe orange and black sweaters. So what you need to know is I started here. Now you might have to regenerate the image 2 or 3 or 4 times before you get that final design, but it's still faster than sitting there and drawing this or, trying to find it, purchase it, what have you. This is one way to do it, where you give it the image and then you tell it to do something different with the image. Another way to do it is to simply describe what you want. I've had some really great results doing that. I've actually made some like designs that were just, quite frankly, better than anything I was doing 5 years ago, just from typing into ChatGPT. Now, I do have ChatGPT like premium. It's like $20 a month, but I use this all the time. So it just really isn't a big deal for me because it's a business write-off, tax write-off. I do prefer using ChatGPT 4.0. The GPT-5, not a fan. It's okay for some things, but I use the legacy model of GPT 4.0. It seems to, just the way I talk to it, I just kind of talk to it like a person, which is maybe a little unhinged. Look, you can see here, this is what it created from that. So let's take a look at this image here. It followed my instructions with the dimensions, the transparent background, the just a fall goose, the groovy font, and then what I would say is it's not far enough apart from that design up there to not make me feel like I just copied it. And so I went through a few more iterations. I said, super cute. Let's keep this the same, but change it to a more spooky fall theme with the goose in black clothing that looks goth. Holding coffees, make the font retro and black. So this result that I got, I was so proud of. I was like, I love this. This is incredible. This is top tier to me usage of AI. Like, this is exactly what AI is for, just for the ridiculousness of this all. I don't know any other way that I could have generated this, this kind of vibe. And the cool thing is, now that I have this image, I can save this and I can re-upload it as a reference image. I could use this theme again, but I could make it like goth geese holding like instruments, or they're in a rock band. It just kind of gives you a lot more options. So this to me feels more like a unique design, something that somebody's just not going to have on Etsy. And so, even that's just incredible. I don't know. Maybe it's just I have a weird taste in stuff. I said, loving the vibes. Now let's make the geese wearing witch hats, holding wands, maybe a black cat, and a cauldron in the photo. Keep the font the same. Just a fall goose, make it creative, like something that would sell on Etsy. Sometimes I'll just straight up say, like, make it a best-selling design on Etsy, because you can, kind of see there's more of an aesthetic here, like that old vintage kind of font, the shirt that looks kind of like almost like weathered, just different types of styles that right now are really just doing well. The minimalist style is doing well. you basically tell it to do something that's already working. So from that, it came up with this, which was okay, but the cat to me was just kind of like, I don't know, it just doesn't blend in and the whiskers were kind of off. So I was like, I've got to do that one again. But we're on the right track with that. Another thing I forgot to say is that this is all in one chat. So if you're starting a new concept, I've tried before to be like, okay, we're starting something different, but it really has a hard time switching gears. If you've done multiple Halloween goose designs, you could say like, hey, start a new concept, but sometimes it will still default back to adding like Halloween or goose elements in the new image. So what I usually do is just open up a new chat. That way it doesn't get confused. So I said, that's really cute, but let's add a little contrast. Make the goose outfits orange, purple, green, and the cat needs to have its face fixed. Not my best writing, but you know what I mean. I'm sometimes in a hurry clicking back and forth between windows when I'm doing this because I'm usually generating some while I'm uploading others with Printful. So it just depends on what you're doing. I also upload them to Amazon Merch on Demand. On this particular platform, this is like my child. I've made $134,000 with this platform, so it's very much something that I've put a lot of effort into. So I'm doing this, but I'm also doing the Etsy thing. I want to try to do more Etsy this year because Etsy around the holidays is definitely a good way to make extra money. Right now I only have one sale because I just kind of started, and the sale was literally me buying a shirt. But I did go ahead and I reviewed that shirt. So I had my mom purchase it and then she reviewed it. So this is what it looks like. She's so sweet. She bought my shirt and put it on and took pictures. She's like the best supportive mom. Probably helps that I'm an only child, but I thought that was a good way to kind of add some like proof of concept to the people. Now this thumbnail is kind of weird. I should probably fix that, but you get the point that like Etsy's more of a slower start when you're just starting out with print on demand because people don't have any trust in a shop that doesn't have any sales or reviews. So I feel like it takes time to get those initial sales coming in. So you can see here, if you recognize this from earlier, this is the design that I made with ChatGPT. So check that out. And then I've got it in different colors available. So you can see there's a few different colors. And then this is going to be fulfilled through Printful. So the person can pick the color that they want and the size that they want. And then if the person buys it, Printful fulfills it for me and ships it to the customer, provides all the tracking information. So that's who I'm using right now to do my like Etsy shop with. So you can see like all of these mock-ups came from Printful as well. I kind of played around with some different, ideas, some different styles, but for the most part, I just used the ones that they auto-generated because it was just like faster. In terms of Etsy, I feel like you have to kind of cast a wide net. Right now, I've got 58 listings up, which is not that many, quite frankly, because you've got to think there's thousands of listings on Etsy. Okay, so we're hopping back over. So we got the image created for just a fall goose. And then after that, I said, okay, let's start a new design idea. Create a design with 3 pickles that have faces. They are dressed in Halloween attire, and the font should say "Deal with it" as a pickle pun shirt. So immediately it comes up with this. Immediately. I don't know how to be any more clear in that if you're not using AI for generating t-shirt designs at this point, I feel like you're leaving a lot of money on the table. This sells, like this is a selling design. It's goofy, it's unique, it's got the whole like weird elements to it, but it's also got the vintage style to it. You could change the font if you want. You could also say, take this concept and we're going to go into different things, which is exactly what I did here. So I said, let's do Christmas attire. And then here's what it did. And I was like, oh boy, no, we're not on the right track. So what it did was it took that other element like the cat and it got confused and put it in this. So I could not use that obviously for some pretty odd anatomy that's going on with those pickles. So basically I had to redo it and say, okay, you did a great job mostly, but what's up with the cat? That needs to be removed. Keep the Christmas pickle theme. Maybe just leave the pickle wearing a scarf or holding a Christmas present. And then it generated this, which just says "Deal with it." And I thought that was super cute. Like that's workable. I feel like that's sellable as is. The font's okay. I would just upload that as is. So that's one example of doing that. And then I went from that to doing Thanksgiving designs. Oh, I just sold a shirt. I went from that to doing Thanksgiving designs. I had to fix that a little bit because I think I wanted it to be holding a pumpkin pie. And so you're just getting kind of the feel for how to talk to ChatGPT in order to get what you want. Let's just do one off the cusp here. Generate a design that has a turkey holding a pumpkin pie, cartoon style, transparent background. Have the text say gobble, Billy, wobble. This is not a phrase I would use because it's oversaturated, but you get the point. I don't know. I just feel like I'm gambling when I do this. Now the drawback, or I don't know what drawback, but like it takes some time. It's not immediate. You know, it might take a couple minutes, maybe like 2 minutes to generate. Sometimes when I'm bored on my phone, if instead of scrolling, I will just generate images in ChatGPT and I'll come back in later on my desktop and then work with them within Canva. But pretty much my process is you've got to do the research first. You've got to know what is selling on any given platform that you're going to upload print on demand to. And then you've got to narrow down, like, okay, what is the phrase I'm going to use? So ChatGPT is really good for that too, because you can be like, I want to sell t-shirts in the gardening niche. I want to have goose themes and I want it to say like quirky puns, and then it will spit out like a bunch of different puns that you could potentially use. Now, there's no telling what this is actually going to spit out here. I'm a little nervous to kind of see what it's even going to be, just because I've already did so many images in this chat thread that it can get confused. So that's just something to keep in mind. It might spit out pickles instead of turkeys at this point because I've done so many pickle designs in this thread. But this is just kind of a way that I utilize ChatGPT to kind of make designs. Okay, this is like impeccable work. It did everything I asked it to do. No misspelling. It did the turkey. It did the font. It even kind of did like a different color font that matches. This would be something that you could upload like immediately. So let's take a look at it in Printful. This is within Printful. So you just upload your design and then click it and click apply. And then you'll choose the colors. Oh, that's scary. Okay, this is something that is actually very important. When it removes the background, see those blue eyes? It often will remove anything that is white. So what that does is it either forces you to go back in and edit and post and do it yourself if you're good with like that. I'm not good with that, and I'm also just kind of lazy. So I would probably just for this one, I would pick shirts that it looked okay with the eyes. So you really can't do like black. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, that's horrifying. So you just have to pick a color that made more sense with the eyes. See, like that color, you can't really tell. So that's something that I would do. And then I would go in and you'll just click on proceed to mockups, and then Printful will allow you to do mockups pretty easily. It's like a couple clicks of a button. Choose mockups. Oh my goodness, what a masculine man. Let's just do front only and let's click this one. So this is the one that I would usually use. You can see there's some other ones in here, like you could do this one, which would be very misleading to the customer considering I'm not selling either of those colors. You could do this one. This guy is clearly in his photo shoot era. This is just the design, which I don't really like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with this one right here. Okay. So let's go ahead and make the white the primary color and click continue. And then, so in here is when you would make your Etsy listing design. So I know this is a Bella Canvas shirt as well. So I usually try to put that in the title. But I would do gobble till you wobble Thanksgiving shirt, pumpkin pie, turkey, Bella Canvas 3001 tea. So that's just an example. I don't put anything in the description. I'm low-key kind of lazy. I might put Thanksgiving, turkey, shirt, pumpkin pie, gobble shirt, just for the sake of, and then I'm going to put t-shirts because that's going to be my shop section, and then I'm going to hit continue. So this is where you have to choose your pricing for Printful. So I'm probably just going to do 20 bucks on all of these. You can set this up as a template too, to where you don't have to do this every single time. Okay, so the only thing I need to change here is the pricing, because on the larger sizes, cost more to get it fulfilled. So I need to charge more to the customer. Okay, so let's go ahead. You could save push settings too here. So you could kind of say like, this is what I want to do each time. So let's go ahead and submit this to my store. What this is going to do is this is going to add it as a draft to my Etsy shop. So I'm not finished yet. I have to go into Etsy and click Shop Manager, and then go on to my listings and then choose drafts. It'll populate in just a second. Okay, so now it's populated. You can choose draft. So you can see what Printful did was it sent over all of that information to Etsy. So now we have to publish it. So you just click edit, and then this is what the thumbnail would look like. So you can adjust it if you like. I'm just going to leave it the way it is. And then you can come on all the way down here. You can see Printful's already got the shipping information for the customer. Okay, so let's go ahead and set this to automatic renewal. What that means is that I'm going to pay 20 cents every time this item sells, but it's going to get automatically renewed. And then if the item didn't sell within like 4 months, it will get automatically renewed anyways. So you can decide, like, if designs aren't selling, you may want to set it on manual. But the bad thing is if it's on manual and you are selling them and you don't check it, you could lose out on sales. So that added the item to my Etsy shop. It's now available for purchase. Printful will fulfill that and ship it to the customer, and then I would make the difference. So that is just kind of how I use AI in order to create designs to sell on Etsy, and then on Amazon merch. So Amazon merch is a different beast because there's, right now I have like over 7,500 designs up, and I'm on the 20,000 tier, but I utilize these features quite often. More lately, ChatGPT, but for Canva's AI feature, it's not bad. It's really something that, like, I would think they would charge extra for. I think Canva's like $120 a year or something like that. Just out of curiosity, I'm going to see how much I've made this year so far with Amazon merch. This is a business that used to be really, really good for me, but I have neglected it. So I'm hoping that maybe I can get a little bit more hyped up for Q4 and stuff, especially now that I'm trying to do Etsy as well. I'm just going to do United States only. Okay, so for this year, 2025, I've made $5,170 with Amazon merch, but to be honest, I've not hardly touched it at all. I just now got to the point where I'm uploading some more designs, but it's not bad. An extra side hustle, an extra $538 a month. So if I could do that and then also maybe bring in a couple hundred with Etsy, that would be really good because, right now I feel like my main problem with Amazon merch is I just haven't uploaded as many designs as I need to. My best month so far was 662, looks like, and then 638. What's crazy to me is the drop down from June to July. Typically you would want to see that go up as we come into Q4, and it's going down. So I'm not sure what's going on with them. Amazon does what Amazon gonna do. They really don't really clue you in very much, and you don't have a lot of control, especially when they're like putting your shirts on sale when you didn't want them on sale or things like that. So this is kind of like an example of some of the stuff I've sold. Obviously I wouldn't want to show you guys my niches, but hey, I did show you quite a bit in ChatGPT and in Canva today. So this is exactly how I would use Canva AI and ChatGPT to create designs to sell on print on demand. If you want any of the info, I'll put all the links in the description for Printful as my print provider, and then for Amazon merch, you would have to sign up and get approved. But for both of those platforms, I've made pretty good money in the past, so hopefully I'll just stick with it and grow my Etsy shop, and I'll keep you guys posted as to how many sales I get in the next couple of months. Take care, guys. I appreciate you watching this long tutorial. I will catch y'all in the next one.